Today we're featuring a Women in Street story, which is a joint collaborative effort between Women in Street and the Unexposed Collective. And we'll be interviewing a number of women street photographers in Melbourne and having a look at what their process is and how they like to shoot.
I got into street photography, well, I guess I have a real love for street issues actually, and for journalism, and I guess there's some element of that that always goes with street documentary, but I really have an interest in people and connecting with people, so I often will find myself smiling at people or wondering what people are thinking or trying to make connection with people when I'm walking. So I find that I do the same thing with my camera.
So I was shooting motorbikes, like a motorbike scene, and a lot of events and that sort of stuff, and it's more of a documentary style that I was doing, and then it's kind of merged from that into a street photos.
Well, traditionally I've been doing some urban landscape, and people just kind of started creeping into the shots, and I was finding interesting details in the people that were creeping into the shots. So I did a bit of hunting around on Instagram, and I found this wonderful array of people who had taken street photography, which I didn't know about previously, and kind of got into it that way.
I kind of fell into street in a way. I haven't been doing it all that long, but it was a little bit of a defence mechanism, to be honest. I found myself in extremely crowded places and don't really enjoy crowds. So as a defence mechanism, I turned the camera on the crowd and realised that they're often far more interesting than the thing that they're there to see. So I ended up shooting more and more street.
By accident, really. I just always enjoyed photography, and the more and more I went out shooting, the more and more I was doing street photography. That's where I ended up.
I really like flash photography, so I'm usually out there with my mirrorless and a flash.
My style of shooting street is a little bit different. It's not documentary. I tend to tell stories more. So forming a narrative, sometimes across multiple shots, but even within a single shot.
I wouldn't describe my style of shooting as anything in particular. I just think that I take lots of different photographs, because what someone once said to me, the secret to good photography is lots of bad photography. So I take a lot of bad photographs in order to try and get something good. So there's no particular style. I take detailed, and I take a lot of bad blurry photographs in order to get something which I really like. And I don't think I have a particular style. I just like taking anything, and there's a lot of really good stuff in Melbourne to take, and I take bad things and I take good things, I hope. But I take about 100 bad photographs to get something that I like.
I'll go for a walk and see what pops up in front of me generally. Just, if I find it interesting, I figure maybe someone else might find it interesting too.
My style of shooting is eclectic. I don't have any one style. I love to follow other people and get inspiration from other people, and then things just happen in front of you. So it's just a matter of being ready to capture what you see and share it with others.
My style of shooting is definitely minimal, but I'm just trying to widen that a little bit now.
Well, all the colours, the light, the shadows, the unpredictability of it all, and just the enjoyment of being out and not knowing what I'm going to be taking.
Street photography for me is a way to get out and know Melbourne, meet people. It's been very much a social thing for me. I'm an amateur photographer. It's just good fun all round.
I like the fact that you can capture things that you know will never be there again. I do traditional street photography, but I do a lot of urban landscapes as well. And I think part of that is that the environment is just changing all of the time, and you can go back to something and it's gone. So the spontaneity, and it tests you as a photographer. Can you grab that moment? Are you ready on time? Have you know, it's a bit like hunting really, or collecting.
I love
chasing the light in street photography. I think I got into street because I love to travel, and so capturing the essence of a time, a place and its people is what I love about travel photography. And so for me, street photography is very similar.
And what draws me to street photography, well, that's what there is in Melbourne. I mean, I just like photography generally, but Melbourne has just such a great variety of buildings and of people, and there's just so much out there to see, even just the smallest detail of things, whether it's in the parks here or the buildings or in the people.
In the late 90s, I studied photography, and I had actually a really, really inspiring teacher who was very into street photography, and yeah, his words still ring in my ears when I'm out shooting now still.
I draw inspiration from people and the world around me. Instagram has been a tremendous tool and a great inspiration.
I love Jesse Marlowe's work. He's amazing. He's a lovely guy. Thomas Lim was also quite influential. He only shoots with an iPhone and he gets really awesome stuff. And one of the things that he shared when he first started was a lot of his photos were just with the backs of people's heads. And so I think a lot of street photography is about being more courageous and taking that shot. And I don't sort of subscribe to sort of the flash in your face kind of look. That's not my thing, but yeah, just putting yourself out there and trying to get it.
I really do like my local area actually, which is around Windsor or Prahran. The city's great, but I do prefer to go to the outer suburbs. I find that Fitzroy or Collingwood, I just find that sometimes it's interesting to go where the nightlife is. I really enjoy night photography, so going to bars or pubs or even when there's sometimes during the week when there's the hustle and bustle of work, I still enjoy that too.
This is one. I love this spot here, Melbourne Central. The alleyways most of the alleyways and the little back streets where you've got the hole-in-the-wall cafes and where there's some friendly baristas as well. But mainly I like places that have got lots of interesting shapes and colours, and such as this one.
In Melbourne, depending on if it's minimal, it'll be my industrial estates or buildings, but otherwise I will shoot anywhere.
Everywhere and anywhere. Centre Place, I do love the light there. 2 o'clock, please don't go there because it'll be flat chat, cut that bit out. Centre Place is great, I love the light there. The good thing about Melbourne is it's got so many different backdrop settings. The light varies from location to location, so you've got a lot of options.
First and second floors of any buildings I can get into, and shooting down is always great. Yeah, you can get your candid shots from there. I don't know if I'm breaking any laws yet, but I think there are usually public places that you can come in and out of.
Yeah, in Melbourne because I love chasing the light, so there's Centre Place, especially midday, where the sun comes down the side of the building and creates these beautiful double shadows. And there's also the laneways of Melbourne. So in the late afternoon, especially in summer, you get really long shadows down Little Bourke Street and Little Collins Street.